Once upon a time, in a secluded village surrounded by dense forests and towering mountains, there lived a wise sage known for his profound serenity and deep understanding of life's mysteries. People from distant lands would travel to seek his counsel, for his wisdom had the power to calm the most troubled hearts. In the same village lived a young woman named Leela. She was kind-hearted and hard-working, but she was often overwhelmed by the pressures of life. Her family was poor, and every day was a struggle to make ends meet. The constant worries about food, shelter, and the future weighed heavily on her heart, making her feel like she was living in the eye of an unending storm. One day, after a particularly harsh winter had left her family's crops devastated, Leela felt like she could bear no more. She decided to visit the sage, hoping he could offer some solace or guidance. As she approached the sage's humble dwelling, she found him sitting quietly by a small pond, watching the water's surface ripple gently in the breeze. She hesitated, not wanting to disturb his peace, but the sage turned to her with a warm smile. "Come, sit with me," he said in a gentle voice. Leela sat beside him, feeling a slight sense of calm in his presence. "Master," she began, "my life feels like a constant storm. The worries, the hardships, they never seem to end. I don't know how to find peace in the midst of all this turmoil." The sage listened patiently, nodding as she spoke. When she finished, he remained silent for a few moments, letting the tranquility of the surroundings fill the space between them. Finally, he said, "Leela, do you see this pond? When the wind blows, it creates ripples on the surface, disturbing the water. But beneath the surface, the water remains calm and undisturbed. Life is much like this pond. The surface is where the storms of life rage, the worries, the hardships, the fears. But deep within you, there is a place of stillness, a place where peace always resides. The key is to connect with that inner calm, no matter how fierce the storm above may be." Leela looked at the pond, watching the ripples slowly fade away. "But how do I find that inner peace, Master? The storm feels so overwhelming that I can't seem to reach beneath the surface." The sage smiled and stood up, gesturing for Leela to follow him. They walked to a large tree nearby, its roots firmly anchored in the ground. The sage placed his hand on the tree's trunk. "Do you see this tree?" he asked. "No matter how strong the wind blows, the tree stands firm because its roots are deep. Your inner peace is like the roots of this tree. When you are rooted in that stillness, no storm can shake you." The sage then handed Leela a small, smooth stone from the base of the tree. "Take this stone and carry it with you wherever you go. When you feel the storm of life overwhelming you, hold the stone in your hand. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, and focus on the stillness within you. Imagine that with each breath, you are drawing strength from the earth, just like this tree draws nourishment through its roots." Leela took the stone, feeling its coolness in her palm. It wasn't just an ordinary stone. It felt like a piece of the earth itself, solid and grounding. "Remember," the sage continued, "the storm is temporary, but the peace within you is eternal. Whenever you feel lost, return to that place of stillness, and you will find your way." Grateful for the sage's wisdom, Leela returned to her village. She kept the stone with her at all times, and whenever the worries of life began to overwhelm her, she would hold it tightly, close her eyes, and breathe deeply. Gradually, she began to feel more connected to that inner calm, and the storms of life seemed less daunting. As the seasons passed, Leela's life was still filled with challenges, but she faced them with a newfound resilience. She no longer feared the storms, for she knew that, like the tree rooted in the earth, she was anchored in a deep and abiding peace. Conclusion: in life, we all face storms that threaten to overwhelm us, be they worries, fears, or hardships. But like the tree rooted firmly in the earth, we have within us a source of strength and peace that can withstand even the fiercest winds. By connecting with that inner stillness, we can find peace even in the most turbulent times. Remember, the storm is temporary, but the peace within you is eternal.